How to believe in yourself. In this video, we're going to be talking about the basic fundamentals of healing your relationship with yourself so you can believe in yourself more and have a lot more self-confidence. Now, if you're a fan of my channel, you will know the key word here, when that key word is emotional surrender. That is looking at your emotions and being brave enough to look deep within inside yourself and actually feel the very things that are blocking you from believing in yourself. So if you're new to this channel, feel free to subscribe. If you don't want to subscribe, congratulations. You are a sentient person capable of your own decisions. I believe in myself enough that, you know what, it's fine if you do, it's fine if you don't. I'll figure out my life and all this sort of stuff. You know, it's beautiful. It's equanimous together. So I sort of see that there's a lot of advice out there that often is from a ungrounded place. That you might look at advice on how to believe in yourself, and there's a lot of advice out there that feels like you need to build yourself up. And surely from that perspective, it works. Like if you don't believe in yourself, you might feel like you do need to build yourself up. Now, what I like to look at is what we call meta-confidence. Not just confidence, but meta-confidence. That is confidence about confidence. That is, you are so fucking sure of yourself that it doesn't matter if you don't believe in yourself. Now that, I get it, for some people it might be a bit jarring of an idea, like what does that mean? But for example, what if every time you doubted yourself, it didn't matter? Well, suddenly you might just have a lot more confidence. And I mean that in the sense that meta-confidence is confidence about the confidence, that it doesn't shake you if you are unshaken, because you are still on your path. You are still going towards the things you want to create. You are still creating the things you want to create. You're still moving towards the things you want to move towards. Therefore, setbacks are part of the plan, if that makes sense. Creating meta-confidence, creating this meta self-belief in yourself is more easily said than done, and I believe should be the norm. That's honestly why I do a lot of personal development, things like that. I joke that I'm anti-personal development because it's like I'm sort of giving advice that's contradictory to a lot of the advice that you might get there. They're like, just do it, just do it. And I'm like, no, feel it, fucking doubt yourself. Feel how it feels to doubt yourself. There's a lot of lessons in self-doubt that, or what people are trying to do with personal development is essentially numb ourselves. We're trying to circumvent the self-doubt. So what do we do? If you're a fan of this channel, you're a fan of my work, you know the key fundamental word, that is surrender. That is emotional surrender. That is looking at your feelings. So for example, we're talking about how to believe in yourself. What are thoughts and feelings you have about yourself? Some people might have feelings like, oh God, I never make it. Every time I try, I fail. I always fail. We're talking about meta-confidence, right? What happens if it was okay if you failed? What happens what would happen if it was okay if you tried and didn't succeed? Every time I put myself out there, I get rejected. Okay, cool. So in this case, when we're talking about how to believe in yourself, well, how does it feel to not believe in yourself? How does it feel to doubt yourself? How does it feel to hate yourself? These are all emotions that have a start and a finish. And when we are impatient, we essentially try and speed the process up. We circumvent the finish because we're uncomfortable with feeling uncomfortable. So when we emotionally surrender, what then happens? We fucking heal. We learn from our emotion, and we get to a place of extreme equanimity, and dare I say, extreme meta-confidence, where it doesn't matter if we believe in ourselves, and it doesn't matter if we don't, because that's not the question that we're asking. We're asking, how do I be in the world? How do I achieve this thing? How do I say this thing? How do I express this thing? It's not, will I fail or will I not fail? Will I succeed or will I not succeed? Surely, yes. You know, there's a lot of people out there who will be like, yeah, this is what we're talking about, meta-confidence, confidence beyond the situation, right? Confidence about the confidence. Because what ends up happening is we're looking for exterior results, and then we get exterior results. But what ends up happening is the moment those results stop, a person comes crashing down. And that's good because you got to experience what it would be like to have the result and the self-confidence and stuff like that. But if your confidence, if your self-belief is tied to your results, well, that's good, but it's not sustainable. And if you're a fan of my work, you're a fan of this thing, you're about sustainable fucking results. Because you yourself recognize that you deep down are worthy as you are. You deep down are fantastic as you are. You are just fucking brilliant and you don't need to fucking try so hard. So what do? Every time we don't believe in ourselves, surrender. Find out what it's about. Feel the emotion. We'll do a quick little thing. A lot of my online courses are like this. We'll do a little sample. A little sample-y-soo. But for example, I want you to just for a moment, I'm gonna say some things, and I want you to just surrender to how it feels as I say these things. Let's start the healing journey. So just let yourself fully feel. You're not gonna change or modify or over-exaggerate or under-exaggerate or reframe or whatever the feelings that you get when I say these next words. Failure. Success. Doubt. Confidence. Defeated. Victorious. As you are feeling these things, your reactions to them, these are not just your reactions to these emotions. These are your reactions to life, to whatever is linked to these things. As you feel and heal those emotions, what ends up happening? There's a cycle. They complete, you learn from it, and you just exist in the world. Now, I like to use a lot of examples of stand-up because that's currently one of my big things in the world. You know, I coach relationships. I'm currently using this emotional healing method to see what happens if I apply it to an industry, for example, stand-up. And Lord knows I'm fucking terrified. But I am fucking confident in myself in my terror because I've healed enough about my self-confidence. I don't care if I doubt myself. I don't care if I am fast or if I am slow, or, you know, I care a little bit if I'm funny because it seems like that's the goal. You know, I've got some stuff there that I need to heal. But, you know, I would go to an open mic and people would be like, are you going to go up? And I'm like, no, I'm fucking terrified. And they're like, you know what, the best way to do it is just to go up. And I'm like, great. I'm happy for you for that, but I need to surrender. Eventually, I just, you know, got so frustrated with myself that I had to go up. Then I realized I was pushing myself too much just to prove shit to myself, and I had to actually take a step back. The other day, Sunday night, I'd surrendered so much that there was an open mic that was near my house that just started, and I was like, oh God, I should go, I shouldn't go, I don't know if I should go, oh God. And I'm processing this emotion. I'm just surrendering rather than trying to make a decision because I don't feel comfortable with indecision. I'm now comfortable with indecision. I know that's part of life. So surrender, surrender, surrender. Process that emotion. Realize, nah, this is the time I want to go. I went and I didn't sign up. And I'm like, okay, I don't know. And I've met some comedians and that's fine. I'm like, and I'm just surrendering. How would it feel like if I was on stage or performing? Terrified. Fucking terrified, but meta confident. I'm confident that my terror is part of that thing. Now, I've done public speaking, I've been on radio, I've done all this shit. But for some reason, funny first is a lot hard. I'm standing on my calves. My calves, I'm getting a great calf workout. I'm trying to like frame myself. Anyway, what ends up happening is in that moment, because the universe responds to us, we respond to the universe in such wonderful and weird fucking ways. And obviously, exception to the rule is shit happens, you know, like, because shit does happen. Entropy, it's called, the law of entropy. But in that moment, what ended up happening is one of the guys who was on stage, he was like, no, I'm fucking done. Sharam, do you want to come up? And I was like, no. And I'd processed my terror, and he's like, no, come up. And I'm like, all right. And I went up, and two things happened. Not only was it the most comfortable I've ever been doing stand-up because I gave myself the time to process my terror towards it, and I learned so many things like, oh, I'm terrified of this, I'm terrified of that, and all of this stuff, and does it really matter, and it's okay. But not only that, I was so able to receive that the jokes that I was sharing that I had prepared for myself, for me, and for them, not just for them, but for both of us, that they laughed, and I was like, fuck, I got something here. I trust myself. So There is a sense of self-trust that you can create when you actually are comfortable with lack of trust. There's a sense of confidence you can create when you're comfortable with lack of confidence. And there is a sense of powerful self-belief that you can create when you are comfortable with your lack of self-belief, because that becomes just part of the plan. It becomes part of who you are. And as you process your lack of belief and become comfortable with it, you actually become so rock solid in your self-belief that other people will be like, wow, you're so fucking confident. Because I fucking get that. It's really funny. People are like, wow, you're confident. Wow, you're brave. I'm like, it doesn't seem like anything to me. Because the highs and the lows I'm done with it. I want the next thing, which is action, which is the results, which is the progress. You know, if you've ever done something and felt surprised about that something, you're not there yet. Because you don't believe you can do it. So every time you do it, you're surprised. Process that surprise, process your doubt, let yourself fully fucking feel. You know that, I said like, confidence, there's all this stuff. Go back, listen to that like 50 fucking times, 100 times, surrender to how that part feels, and move on with your fucking life. Go on to the next thing. Next thing, next thing, next thing. Life, grab by life by the cojones and move the fuck on. Now, what ends up happening, if you want more insight, I've got 2 courses that I recommend that are on my website. I've got a bunch there, but for this, these are my 2 favorite courses. Introduction to Surrender, where you can learn more about the actual fundamentals of healing and get started. And if you're someone who feels like you need a lot more knowledge on this, I know there's a lot of videos out there online and stuff like that. This course kind of will catch you up. And the other thing is Healing the Blocks to Love. I actually take you through a lot of healing stuff around relationships, so you can actually start creating stuff. I've taken the course myself, and I've been like, fuck, I teach this shit. I do this nonstop all the time, no matter what, but holy hell, was it good for me? You know what I mean? Because there's always something to learn every time you surrender something, Pretty soon, if you're in Melbourne, I'm going to be running workshops. I'm still working on that, taking my sweet ass time, because I am confident that my process is the way it's meant to be. And if you are new to this channel, subscribe or not, your choice. You're a sentient person. And if you do like these videos and stuff like that, feel free to leave a like, and hopefully you get started on your healing journey if you have not already. So I'll talk to you soon. Mwah. Bye.